Daniel Powell, and today I'm going to go over mastering creativity. Obviously, mastering something takes 10,000 hours, so it's not like I'm a complete master at creativity, though I've stumbled upon a lot of tips that will help. And one of the things is, like, for writers, a writer who, like, he'll just write every day without knowing what he's going to write. They just sit down and start to work and see what comes up. And if you're super critical of yourself, you're gonna get hyper intense, or you're gonna fall into hyper intention, which is when you get too tensed up, or you want something or need something too so much that you don't get it. You get in your own way. And sometimes you just got to be willing to just put in some time, just start somewhere. And sometimes when I write something, I'll just start just saying something I won't put any thought into it, and then I'll start to reflect on what I wrote and be like, oh, how could I have made this better? What would make this more interesting? Or sometimes even when I'm like cooking a meal, and I've recently been forced to get more creative with cooking because I decided to become a vegan. And like sometimes you really got to make something sweeter. So while I know a lot of people don't like warm pineapple, I learned to love cooking pineapple. I mean, of course I like cold pineapple too, but yeah, I love it. Heating that up and put a bunch of different spices. Like I have a mindset of like I want to eat as healthy as possible, so I'll add as many different spices as I see fit, and it ends up becoming way tastier. Of course, you have to use discretion. You don't, of course, want to put every single spice known to man in your dish, or if you do, you got to be very light on the seasoning for it all. Though, yeah, that's just a start. So also, I read in a book, I forgot exactly what it's called. Something about I think it's called like Wired to Create, and it made a very intriguing point about how people will get really creative by using their pain as their source of inspiration. You'll see like often in movies or even people's lives is like when they get told that they can't do something or they're not good enough, yada yada yada. While it can negatively affect them at first, then though later it becomes like a drive to prove them wrong. And while of course hatred can block your energy on a certain level, and then sometimes it depends on how you use it, because of course getting back at someone is a strong motivator, but you can get in your own way and waste energy when you're angry at someone. And one guy actually, and he's coaching a team, he actually doesn't like any of his team members to get angry at all, because he says, like it just takes up energy. They'll have way more energy if they're not concerned about the outcome as much, or they're not so tensed up. The way of the Tao is like going with the flow. That's exactly what you want to be able to learn to get into. Is either if you lose, you learn something, you gain better, or you're strengthening yourself. And then of course if you win, that's fine too. But you don't want to get excessive joy, because if you get excessive joy, then that's it will lead to hyperintention, because you're like and you're going to be going for that feeling again next time. You're like, I gotta get that feeling. Though of course you just gotta not be too tense. That's the key, really. It's just not just being too tense or excessive in any emotion, which may sound like a buzzkill, though it will pay off. And also, I heard this story from a guy on YouTube. His channel is Aaron Doughty. He's got a bunch of great stuff, and he was saying, or he's talking about this story with this guy who was competing in all these competitions for just like weightlifting and stuff, and he wasn't doing so well in the competition, or at least not as well as he thought he would. And his girlfriend comes by and she's like, "Are you having fun?" He's like, "No, I've been trying so hard, and I haven't been breaking I haven't been meeting my records or something like that." And she's like, "Oh, well, time to go then." And he's like, "What?" And he's like, then he got it. And then he went out and he did these, and then he started having fun with it. And it kind of freed his energy. You know, he's not being so tense and relying on a certain outcome. And yeah, he won, like, I believe, every single competition after that. It's insane. So mindset is a huge thing. So in this book called The War of Art, he emphasizes a lot on how the more resistance you feel to complete a task is a sign, not necessarily guaranteed. Of course, there's exceptions to every rule, though it is often a sign that the greater the payoff you'll get once you complete that. And like a lot of people will say like, "Oh, I want to be yada yada yada," and they don't actually go after it. And another thing with that is, it's a separate topic though. You get an unconscious payoff often when you just say you're gonna be this or that. And while if you don't tell people that, or tell people you're keeping it a secret for this reason, it will motivate you to work harder on those projects. So yeah, the War of Art, he also is talking about how like the writer will like sit down and start writing, or you know, they just sit down and they're waiting for their muse or source of inspiration. You know, the muse comes to those who are patient typically. Of course, there's of course exceptions where, you know, like it just an idea comes to you out of nowhere, and those are nice, though it is best not to rely on those and actually put in time into brainstorming. And yeah, just have fun with it. That's all for today. Have fun. Peace out.